So now let's talk about vocabularies and immersion resources. And kind of like, I just want to say that I am not endorsed or sponsored by any of these third-party apps or websites. I am recommending them because I am using them and I love them. So the number one app that I am recommending is Duolingo. You see me posting about my Duolingo achievements a lot in this page. So I am so proud about my streak, and you can follow me on Duolingo. It's Ansa Univiner is my Duolingo username, and I also use Elsa Speak, which is I think the best American English app that I can say. They also do gamification, but it's not as good as the Duolingo gamification. Gamification, yeah. I just use it for practicing speaking. I don't care about their streak or anything like that. But I really, really love that they are giving me a very broad range of topics. They have like software development topics there.
When they speak, I can say as a native English speaker, they do sound, I do not hear an accent when they speak. Yeah. So they have a very good English accent, American English too.
Yeah, definitely. It's really good.
It's not British English, which most people will have learned. And they do use the proper American idioms.
Yeah.
They do sound like native speakers when they talk in there.
Yeah, and they are teaching like business English, a lot of things. And the next one will be, and this next one, I've used it when I was in Madagascar, and I stopped using it when I come here because I have access to the internet. But Mozalinga apps, they work offline. They have like one app for every single objective that you can do for the language, which is like, it's fine, but the reason I love Duolingo is I can switch between the different languages in the same app. For Mozalinga, I need to have one app to learn vocabularies, one app to practice for a test, one app to learn Spanish, another app to learn German, and it's a lot of apps. But if you don't have internet, Mozalinga app is still the best app that you can use. You just need internet to download all of those apps, and you can use them offline, and all of the links still in the workbook.
Both Duolingo and Elsa require internet, although I'm not sure if you can download any of the Elsa and then use it.
No, you can't.
Okay, so you have to be online while you're doing Duolingo and Elsa.
Yeah. And the next one will be interviews, podcast, and talks. So, if it's my first time that you saw me, I have a lot of interviews on my page and on my YouTube channel already, which is I only talk about education. I interview people about their academic journey, their academic tips for students. That's what I am doing. So if that's something that you are interested in, you can just look at my the videos on this page or channel that you are already in. And what I like also about my page is that there are people who are like having different level of English, and you can see that even if they don't speak English fluently, or if they don't speak like perfectly, like their enthusiasm, that's gonna inspire you a lot to be like, okay, I want to be that person. Like, I can do that. That person looks like me. That's an actual Malagasy person. Look, how that's like my level of English. If they can do it, I can do it too. So that's like boosting your motivation to see people like you that is not afraid of speaking. So I really recommend. And there is also 6 Minute English by BBC. That's for British English. If you like podcasts, you can basically any of your topic of interest and you just add podcast, and you can do that. You can search that. You are gonna see a lot of thing. You can listen to podcast on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about our favorite podcasts?
Our favorite podcast? Well, I know that we listen to, what is it, Españolistas? Listos?
Yeah.
Which is a podcast in Spanish talking about different grammar in Spanish, each one, or sometimes they'll talk about a story or something like that. And they'll explain a topic in there. There's also, we listen to Skeptics Guide every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's a podcast that talks about new science that's coming out, and but that one's not as much about learning a language, but they do talk about the new science in engineering and in physics, chemistry, and anything like that. And they kind of talk about, what is the new terminology that people are using.
Yeah.
What other podcasts were you thinking of?
Radiolab?
Oh, yeah.
Radiolab is really good.
Radiolab is an excellent storytelling podcast. So they're also kind of like a news where they talk about, this is a story that we found, and they report on this story, but they are very good at making it almost like a radio drama where it feels like you're listening to a story, and it's very entertaining.
Yes, definitely.
I think there was a story in there that I remember where they talked about how this girl let a red balloon go, and then it drifted across Britain down to the southern Britain, several hundred miles away, and then another little girl got it who had the exact same name and was the exact same age, and then they met each other, and that was a very interesting story that they did. But things like that, anything that can look at talks that are interesting to you, because when you talk about things that are interesting to other people, that can also really engage other people. And even if you don't speak English well, it really comes through when you talk about something that you're interested in. People will still know that you are really interested in this topic that you're talking about. And it makes people say, I'm going to figure out what he's saying. I want to know what he's talking about. Because whatever it is, if he's interested or she's interested, I want to be interested in this too.
Yes. And last but not least are TED Talks. Do you love TED Talks, Tony?
Yeah, I like TED Talks.
What is your favorite TED Talks?
I don't have a favorite TED Talk.
Okay.
I don't really listen to TED Talks that often.
Yeah.
But when I do, they're usually very interesting topics. So it'll usually be that something leads me to a TED Talk video, and then I'll say, "Ooh, that was really interesting," and then I'll just start watching a bunch of TED Talks. But they almost always have some interesting things to say. And it's because they are also talking about something that they are very interested in, and it makes me want to listen to a lot of them. And so they also tend to take very complicated topics and talk about them in an easier way to understand. So it can also be a way to learn the language and kind of get a little bit of understanding about the technical terminology, because they're going to be explaining it in a easier, in a more simple English, or a more simple way in that language.
Yeah. I have I would say two favorite TED Talks. The first one is this a TED Talk by, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, which is called The Danger of a Single Story, which I'm gonna write here.
You want to put it into the chat or no? Probably.
Yeah, I can just put it here. So that's it. The Danger of a Single Story. That's the first one. And my second favorite TED Talk is the TED Talk by Professor Luis von Ahn, who is the founder of Duolingo. Like, I love that TED Talk a lot, where he's talking about like why he was creating Duolingo and like why did he choose to teach English instead of like teaching people to use computers, because he's a computer science professor. But that was like really interesting, and I highly recommend you guys watch those two TED Talks. And you can see that's how I speak when I am interested in a subject. Next one is, there is this MOOCs, or Massive Open Online Courses, by the US Department of State, and they open every year, and they are very good. They use Canvas to deliver it, and they have like a lot of videos, a lot of exercises, and they give you certificates at the end. It's really, really good. I took 4 classes with them. The number one, I think, is the English for STEM, and I think I got like English for teaching, something around those lines. But I don't remember the other one. That was like maybe 2 years ago. But it's really good. I highly recommend it.
But that's the U.S. government saying like these are words and things that we think that people should know in order to learn the language or learn this area better.
Yeah.
So they are native speakers figuring out what should people be able to say. So they're very helpful.
Definitely.
Although I think there's not usually too many of them, but
yeah, they don't have a lot, but just take whatever is available. And my favorite one, free audiobooks. So there is this organization called LibriVox, which record all of the public domain books around the world. So those are like old books, but like something like very classical books are already there, and you can listen for them for free. They have app, the LibriVox app, where you can download on your phone, and you can download the audiobooks. They also have a YouTube channel.
And they're not always old. It's just all books that are, I believe,
78 years after the author's death.
78 years after the author's death. Or some people just publish a book and they put it immediately into the public domain. So it's not always old books. You can find some newer stuff. Not always the ones that are extremely popular. A lot of times those tend to be copyrighted, but there are other works that you can see that are in public domain that are more recent. Sometimes they only are copyrighted for 20 years, and then the person who owns the copyright just makes them public domain after that, and they'll go onto this website after they make an audiobook out of it.
Yeah. I recently completed a book, Madame Bovary, from LibriVox. I loved it. And they also have like different people from different backgrounds reading the books, so you're gonna listen to different accents, which is really good. And conferences, online courses, classes. When I was in Madagascar, and I was trying to I was learning math, and I asked, there is a guy that was 1 year older than me in my high school, and I met him in the biz one day, and I asked him like, hey, how do you get like physics and math materials to complement the course that you that you get from school? And he said like, yeah, I'm at the OpenCourseware. Like, it was like common sense for him. But from there, I was always looking at MIT OpenCourseware, because this is like a very big university here in the US, and they make like really, really good course videos in different topics. And the next one is Khan Academy. They have like an app that you can learn from. They have different volunteers to teach different schools, so you can just go there. So if you are learning math, you can just like read the it's not only math, it's different topics, but you can just like listen to the topic that you already know, so that you can practice listening to them and talking to them in English. And there is also this Allison, which they have free online courses. They give free certificates and diplomas. They are ad supported, so the ad may be just a bit annoying than the MOOC from the US Department of State, but they have a lot of
knowledgeable.
No, the ads are annoying because
annoying.
Yeah, because when you are there, there are a lot of ads everywhere, but they have free a lot of online classes. So if you don't have the mean and you still want to learn, you can try it. And there is this website called Voice of America, which also give a lot of video courses, and those are all free.
Yeah. So just to take a pause and let you know why I got a little bit confused there. When you said annoying, you weren't pronouncing the A, and you were pronouncing knowing.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, knowing, is she trying to say like these people know a lot? And so I was thinking knowledgeable. That's why I was asking, did you mean knowledgeable? But you wouldn't have known that. That's what my thought process was.
Yeah.
But also knowing, annoying.
Knowing, yeah.
Knowing.
Knowing.
I'm saying it like you now. Okay. Annoying.
Yeah,
that's better.
Yes. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah.
And where is my? Okay. So I have other apps that I recommend. So I use this app called Trello. It can help you keep track of your progress, but if you have data or Wi-Fi, that's when you can use this. I also use Notion. So Notion is kind of like they are trying to be like one size fits all app. So you can like write in it, you can keep progress, you can sync it with Google Calendar, you can build the website based of it. So they have a free account, so you can just go there and try it and tell me if you like it. And there is also this free app called Anki Universal, and I used it a lot when I was doing my prelim exam. It uses the Spencer-Trevald method, and it's very great for learning vocabularies. And the next one is going to be Kahoot. So Kahoot is a gamified learning app. It's going to be great for learning vocabs and playing vocab games with friends. And there are already some games that are available there. So you can just go there and see like, okay, English Kahoots, and you can do that. And this last app right here that I have is Focus To Do. So that's like the app that I use to time my tasks, so that I can keep track of all of my timed activities. So you can use this when you're gonna do like, okay, I'm just gonna be writing for 15 minutes in English, and you can put the app for 15 minutes and you are gonna see like the countdown timer going there. And or you can do like, okay, I want to see how many time I've been spending on this project. Then you can like count how many Pomodoro units did you use. But this is really good. I highly recommend it. So that is what we have planned for today. And if you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment, and we are going to be hang out a little bit here and answer your questions. I see there are 3 people there. Thank you so much